I can't remember the last time I played a game quite as cathartic as Risk of Rain 2. It's an experience that begins gently enough each time but continues to ramp up and up and up in every conceivable way until a run comes to a crushing end and you realise you've been holding your breath for 45 minutes and should, by rights, be dead. It's a roguelike sci-fi shooter that takes place on a procedurally generated alien world more hostile than a pit bull terrier with a hot fork in its arse cheek, where you and your little crew of space warriors have come to investigate a mysterious signal. Upon landing, the light drizzle of rain and gentle guitar riff has you wondering what all the fuss is about, until the first wave of alien beasts begins to break through the ground. I mean, I say wave, but there's really just one never-ending stream of enemies. Investigating deep space signals goes out the window, at this point replaced by one objective: survive long enough to activate a teleporter that will transfer you out of this immediate hell and into a brand new one. The premise is simple, the execution superb, and the whole experience fills you with joy and awe and lots of swears. Initially, you'll drop in as the Commando, a bubble-headed adventurer with a pistol and a handy dodge roll, but as you complete various objectives in the world, you'll unlock new avatars with unique skills. These skills usually take the form of at least one powerful attack, a movement ability, and a secondary attack, all on cooldowns. There's a certain amount of synergy insofar as the game works best when each player, up to 4 of you, is playing as a different character. The loader, for example, is a melee character who can latch onto enemies and obstacles to swing around on her extendable arms, and she's also tough and durable because she's designed to get in close. This makes her ideal for holding threat on groups of enemies and bosses while the rest of the team pelt them from afar. It's not as sophisticated as an MMO raid or anything, but it works. It takes no time at all for the difficulty to ramp up considerably, as a slider in the top right hand corner is always rising through easy, medium and hard until the game is literally laughing at you. And one life is all you get, though the Fallen will respawn at the beginning of a new area as long as one of you manages to activate the teleporter. Once you reach the teleporter, you'll need to charge it, which means staying in close proximity to it while the game showers you with enemies and notably bosses. Towering brutes who can spawn in groups of 2, 3 or 4, the bosses take an age to burn down and will constantly hit you with powerful attacks as well as causing damage over time and area of effect damage. Staying alive during these fights is tough and they simply don't let up until either you or they are dead. Throughout each run you'll find chests and shrines scattered around the landscape which you can open with accrued coins. Inside wait a variety of buffs and abilities that attach themselves to your character like trophies. From syringes that stick in your leg and buff your damage and speed, to a guitar you can sling across your back, a set of wings for temporary flight, a leech that restores your health and a giant saw blade that deals damage back to attacking enemies. There's more than a score of these utilities, and if you get lucky with the drops, as they're random too, you can end up with a character that heals almost instantly or can sprint 3 times as fast as other players. The fact that each item you pick up alters your appearance means you end up looking completely unique by the halfway point in a run, and a display at the top of the screen reminds you what you've equipped at a given time. There are also shrines that require various sacrifices to activate that do things like buff your party or increase the damage of enemies and thus the rewards. What Risk of Rain 2 does incredibly well is build upon itself. The longer you play, the bigger, louder and faster it seems to get. Procedurally generated levels seem to grow the further you progress, while the music builds into some truly extraordinary synth tracks, and the enemies and items come thicker and faster with every passing second. Playing alone, it's fun. Playing with random pickup groups, it's better, but playing with friends, it's absolutely fantastic. There's such a vast array of different skills and abilities, some of which affect the group as a whole, that every run turns out massively different, and the way the bosses force you to work as a team to take them down is spectacular. The art style and soundtrack are both phenomenal too. I was originally a little put off by the artwork when I saw stills, but in motion, its curious hybridization of pixel art and watercolour lends Risk of Rain 2 a truly unique appearance, and the soundtrack is just excellent. From chilled out guitar as you first land to wailing synth guitars during late game boss battles, it doesn't feel like it should fit, but it absolutely does. The only real negative I have is that sometimes a transporter can be incredibly well hidden, which is probably the point, I suppose. Oh, and some of the items and mechanics aren't that well explained. More than once I found myself on the wiki trying to work out what something was doing to me, or what the hell a lunar coin is, or where the shop was located. Oh yeah, there's a shop. I guess you might say it's a fairly repetitive premise too, in that you'll only ever really be shooting and dodging and shooting some more. But there's such a range of characters, items and locales that it always feels compelling, if not entirely fresh. Aside from these minor gripes though, Risk of Rain 2 is an excellent time that takes you from a scrappy fight with some pesky aliens to a desperate battle for survival in a 3D bullet hell every single run, and it's both massively addictive and utterly satisfying at the same time. For that reason, I'm going to score Risk of Rain 2 9 out of 10. I hope you enjoyed our review of Risk of Rain 2 on PC. It comes from Hopoo Games and Gearbox Publishing, and it's available right now. In fact, it's just come out of early access, which is why we're doing this review. If you did like the video, please consider hitting like and subscribe. Maybe tag that bell icon too, so that you're kept up to date with all the new content that we post on a given day. We also have a Patreon if you'd like to support us that way. We really do appreciate it. I've been Mick Fraser for God is a Geek, and you guys have been lovely. Bye.